From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Monday, November the 20th, 2017. An IDF soldier was wounded early this morning near Israel's border with Egypt. The incident occurred near the Kerem Shalom crossing, which connects Israel and the Sinai. The gunfire is thought to have been errant fire spillover from internal fighting between Egyptian forces and a group affiliated with the Islamic State that is based in the Sinai. But the IDF said it was investigating to see if that was indeed the case. The soldier was lightly hurt and taken to Soroka Medical Center in Beersheba for treatment. The incident on the crossing into Egyptian territory, interestingly enough, comes on the anniversary of the late Egyptian President Anwar Sadats' address to Israel's Knesset. Sadat landed in Israel on November the 19th of 1977, the first Arab leader to conduct an official visit to Israel. And the following day, on November the 20th, Sadat and Israel's then Prime Minister Menachem Begin addressed a special session of Israel's parliament and called for peace. Later, on March the 16th of 1979, Sadat and Begin shook hands on the White House lawn after signing a formal peace treaty. And staying with Egypt, leaders of various Palestinian factions are in Cairo today reportedly to hold further reconciliation talks. If you recall, rival factions Fatah and Hamas signed a unity agreement last month, and the three-day talks, which are scheduled to begin in Cairo tomorrow, are said to be aimed at moving that agreement forward. According to the unity deal, Hamas is supposed to hand over civil control of Gaza to Fatah, which is the party of the Palestinian Authority, on December the 1st. But it is unclear what will happen to Hamas's military wing when that takes place. Hamas is recognized as a terror group by Israel and by the U.S., and Israel has stated clearly that it would not negotiate with the Palestinians unless Hamas disarms and recognizes Israel's right to exist. Israel's ambassador to the United Nations, Dani Danon, accompanied the family of an Israeli being held in Gaza by Hamas at the United Nations today in New York. As we reported to you last week, the brother and mother of Ilan Mengistu, who crossed into Gaza back in 2014 and is believed to be held by the terror group, met with U.S. Special Representative for International Negotiations Jason Greenblatt at the White House last week to call attention to the plight of Avira. And today, the Mengistu family addressed the international community. Ilan Mengistu said at the UN today the Hamas terrorist organization in Gaza is toying with the life of a mentally disabled civilian. He said they are playing a cynical and cruel game with the life of a man who has never harmed a soul. Danon wrote after the meeting on social media today that all those who demand an end to the humanitarian plight for the residents of Gaza must also demand the immediate release of all Israelis held by Hamas, saying that Israel will not rest until all of our citizens return home. Hamas is also holding 2 other Israeli civilians, as well as the remains of 2 IDF soldiers, Oron Shaul and Hadar Golden. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said today that he would be traveling to Brussels at the beginning of next month. Israel's Channel 10 reported that the trip is so Netanyahu can attend a summit of European Union leaders, seen as a renewed effort to improve ties between Israel and the EU. If that indeed takes place, it would be the first time in 22 years that an Israeli leader has attended any EU meeting. Australian singer Nick Cave performed in Tel Aviv this weekend in a stand against the BDS campaign that seeks to delegitimize the State of Israel. Cave told a press conference ahead of the show last night that he specifically wanted to perform in Israel in opposition to pressure from people like former Pink Floyd frontman Roger Waters and others who he said are trying to bully other artists.
At the end of the day, I think there's 2 reasons maybe why I'm here. One is that I love Israel and I love Israeli people. And 2 is to make a principled stand against anyone who tries to censor and silence musicians. So really you could say in a way that the BDS made me play Israel.
Cave and his band, The Bad Seeds, take the stage for another concert in Tel Aviv tonight. And looking now at our programming for tonight on JBS from Monday, November the 20th at 7 o'clock, it's The Wisdom of Dr. Ruth. At 7:30, the 2014 Mensch Award is presented to Holocaust survivor and historian Randolph Brahm. At 8, author and New York Times columnist Ron Lieber suggests parenting strategies from the JCC Greenwich at Carmel. At 9, Mark Golub sits down with French Jewish intellectual, journalist, and author Bernard-Henri Lévy on L'chaim. And at 10, Christian Arab New York Times columnist Yusuf Ibrahim talks about the world of Islamic fundamentalism. And coming up right after this newscast tonight at 6:30, Harvard Law professor emeritus and author Alan Dershowitz goes one-on-one with Israeli leaders. And that's the JBS News Update for Monday, November the 20th, 2017. I'm Teisha Bader.